So say I was new event marketer. I didn't even know where to start with event softwares.
Sure.
How do I research them? How do I know what's good? How do I know which one to pick? How do I know which one's better? How do I know which one fits what I need? I mean, do I have to sit through demos and get a feature and benefit rundown? Where do I start?
Sure. So if you're not already using event software, like your world is about to change, first of
Mm.
all, and your life is about to get a lot easier. And it can certainly be extremely overwhelming to someone who has never, Googled it to begin with. But, first of all, it's good to understand what event platforms are capable of. So the leading, what we call all-in-one solutions, provide things like registration, event management, promotion, like I said before, mobile apps, engagement tools to engage with, your attendees before, during, after, and the ability to run data and analytics and reporting as well. So you'll need to clearly map out what your need to haves are and what your nice to haves are. And side note, you'll also want to ensure that you engage stakeholders outside of your team before you get too far into your search because you know what you need. But these tools are super powerful and can likely be leveraged by several stakeholders across your company. So you'll want to know upfront what tools they may already be using and what challenges they're facing. So you can keep their requirements in mind too, since this is a great opportunity to streamline tools and ultimately minimize the integration efforts that are going to follow this initiative. So there's some great tools out there to help you compare different solutions based on your requirements. Some I've used in the past are G2, Capterra. There's a new event tech specific one called Event Mender that's out there. So you can leverage these types of sites to help identify, compare, and narrow down your options. Of course, I'm partial to see that. I work
Mm-hmm.
there now and I love it. But it's still important to look at several vendors based on your specific needs. And then, once you've narrowed it down to 3 to 5 options after doing all that legwork, then you set up demos. So you can see firsthand and really dig into each one based on your requirements. Because what's on a checklist might not necessarily be what you're looking for. So from there, after looking at 3 to 5, you should be able to, clearly narrow it down to at least your top 1 or 2. And then, you're in a much better place than you were when you started.
You know what I think was it was all pretty good advice in there, but I think what was a really good piece of what you just said was that the software can likely be leveraged by several stakeholders. I think it's a very interesting thing, right? So I've always said this, like when you're in events are run by the event department, right? You then have marketing, like conventional, typical marketing inside of a business, which typically oversees and runs events at the highest chart by CMO, right? But marketing on its own can be separate.
Mhm.
Sales is always separate.
Yep.
Sometimes now go to market is separate. I mean, you have all these things, especially in these big enterprise companies. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
what you're saying is, as the event marketer, if you're going to add and go in and add in a software for these large events for X amount of events a year, or even just for one event a year, why would you not be going to the stakeholders in marketing, sales, go to market, your CMO, whoever, and saying, hey, like, I'm going to use it for this, and this is the business case, and it's enough to pay for this and do it. What do you all think? Because you all have different initiatives.
Exactly.
How can I help? How can I pull in? And that's a great way to sell it, a great way to get people on board, and a great way to say, like, man, we have this tool at our capability and we can help everybody here.
Absolutely.